House, getting ready to clean up this fish and prepare all my seasonings. And really I don't have a lot because I couldn't find my albahaca basil, fresh basil. So I just got some garlic, cilantro, and salt. And I didn't buy onions. I don't have any onions. Dang. Well, I don't have any onions, so I've got to go across the street and see if the house next door sells onions. All right, so I had to leave for a second. I forgot when I went to the market, I left my onion and didn't buy any oil. And man, what I love about just countries in South America, Spanish countries in general, because I don't know anything other than that except for the United States. All I had to do was leave out the house and go across the street to the other house that has a store in the front that sells different products. It's really everything you need from the grocery store. So I went and bought some oil and an onion. But yeah, I'm back at the house, chilling, not gonna do too much, getting ready to prepare my tilapia. But yeah, man, life down here is so simple. It's you know, for the people I guess who live here, it can be hectic just like anywhere else in the world. Where you live is where you live. That's home. That's all you know. So, you know, your problems are your problems. But for me, living outside the United States for extended periods, man, I wouldn't trade it. For one, the dollar is strong. Right now, the exchange rate is like, you may as well say 4,000 pesos to the dollar. For example, I paid, now I can't remember, I paid 7,000 and some change for this tilapia. So that's that's less than $2 actually. That's like $1.20 for a whole tilapia. I don't think we buy bottles this size back home, back in the United States. But for this and the onion, I paid really about the same that I paid for the fish, $1.20. So everything's a lot cheaper. Life is a lot slower. The people are, in my opinion, the people are a lot friendlier, a lot more friendlier. And it could be that, hey, you know, this guy's not from here, so let us put our best foot forward and show him a good time. Either way, I don't care, as long as you treat me good, I ain't tripping. So yeah, so for the rest of the day, I think I'm just going to, I gotta wash my clothes. And then of course, man, if you know me, I gotta get to that beach. So sometime today, I'm gonna make sure I head to the beach. Later on, go check out some markets that they have close to downtown. I want to show you guys where you can go buy food, like souvenirs, as far as like clothes and stuff like that. It's almost like a flea market. So I'm gonna shoot down to the flea market with you guys here later on. But yeah, man, if anybody is watching my video and thinking, man, I don't know if I should go to, you know, South America, blah, 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 it's a bunch of violence and this and that. You know, it's almost like being at home. When you see violence and hear violence towards people, for the most part, it's the people who live in those neighborhoods, in those zones. As far as tourists, we're not really getting involved in the stuff that they're involved with. Now, if you come down here and you getting into your to the drug game and all that, well, it is what it is on that. But just coming down here and being on vacation, and you're not gonna really find a lot of problems. And it's not to say that problems don't exist. Of course, they robbing people. They rob each other. But for the most part, as a tourist, you can blend in, but you still stick out. And people tend to watch out for you, or at least stay out of your way. Because when you start messing with the tourists, well, now you're messing with the, everybody's money. And just like anywhere, hey, don't mess with the church's money, or you're going to have problems with the pastor. You know what I mean? So it's like that. And where I am in Cartagena, I'm in a barrio named Canapote. It's a little bit far from everything. There is a beach here, but you gotta walk you gotta walk probably 15 to 20 minutes. I've been here in Colombia for a while, so I'm used to walking. Walking doesn't bother me, man. I can walk at this point, shoot 3-4 miles, and I'm good. It's the only thing is the humidity here. The humidity is something else. It's something else. But yeah, Canapote. And if you watch some of my previous videos from here, you can see it's not luxurious. Like the streets are they're gonna be filled with litter. You're gonna see stuff that you probably wouldn't see in the resort or the really touristic areas. But that's what I like about it. It's authentic. The people are authentic. You know what I mean? They like I say, they look out for you. They're pretty hospitable. And even if you don't speak Spanish, man, they'll still go out of their way to help you out, to try and get whatever it is that you need. Because the lady next door to me, she's from America, and her Spanish is so. But the people, I mean, they're responsive to her. They help her out. If they see she's struggling with something, they step in or whatever and help her. So yeah, I would encourage a lot of people. First off, of course, if you've got the patience and the time to learn Spanish. But aside from that, get away from the resorts. I mean, that's fine and dandy. Yeah, you want to go somewhere and relax and get away from the BS that you live every day. So you want to treat yourself and go somewhere luxurious. You know what I mean? No trash and people waiting on your hand and foot. That's fine. I like that too. Don't get me wrong. But it's something about being in another country, in somebody else's neighborhood, moving around. You know what I mean? Blending in, just doing your thing, man, without missing a beat. So yeah, those are some of my suggestions as far as traveling to South America. But yeah, don't come down here with that scared business. You know what I'm saying? Come down here and shoot. Enjoy. Show respect and stay out the way. Another thing, when you come down here, learn the conversion rate. Learn what's what. Because I've had a lot of people try to sell me stuff as if I don't know how much the peso is or what the dollar is worth compared to the peso. I've been down here, 5 months now, close to 5 months. And even before that, every year I come down and spend some months here. So you got a lot of people, especially over in the Wall City, that are gonna try to, man, I had a guy, and that's actually on one of my videos, he tried to sell me 2 bracelets like what I have on my wrist now for 186,000 pesos. I don't do math real fast, but you can do the math. 160,000 pesos divided by 4,000. I think that is, if I'm calculating right, $80. No, $40, excuse me, $40 for these bracelets. I paid 3,000 pesos for this bracelet. There's no way I'm getting ready to give you 160,000 pesos for that. So you got a lot of people here that take advantage of people who don't realize, you know, the value of the peso. Just because that money looks funny, it look like monopoly money, it's real money. And you can say, oh man, you know, we make a lot of money back home. Yeah, that's fine, but money's money. And another thing, you know, when you go places here, just regular restaurants, you don't have to tip. I understand that people come down here and they feel sorry for, you know, some of the locals because it's a poorer country. I mean, it is what it is. But when you start coming down here and leaving tips and just throwing money around, imagine what that does for the person who actually lives here, or the people who live here. Because after a while, that action starts to raise the price of things. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like if you got a bunch of birds somewhere and you start throwing food down. Well, after a while, you got a bunch of birds in this place where birds don't belong. And then you got to keep up the habit. So coming down here and tipping and just throwing money around, it messes up. I don't want to say it messes up the economy, but it throws things off. You know, I had a friend in Dominican one time. He told me, he said, man, you know, ever since Americans been coming down here, you know, willing to pay $2 for a bottle of water, this and that. He said, now we got to pay 50 cents for a bottle of water. For us, 50 cents is not a lot. We'll leave 50 cents on the ground, depending on the denomination of money, if it's some pennies or dimes. But for somebody else, like, that's a lot of money. And when you start throwing it around and they get used to that, well, now people are going to stop selling, even to the locals sometimes, they'll stop selling at the prices where they should, and then that causes everything to go up. So, I mean, if you're at the resort, it's kind of expected that you leave tips, or if you're at a fancy restaurant, it's expected. And I'm not telling you not to. You can do that. I mean, if you feel like, hey, you know, I appreciate what you're doing and this and that, I just want to help. But just to come down and, like I say, like the bracelets, 2 for 160,000 pesos. You know, I would tell anybody, don't support that type of action, because at the end of the day, you're going to ruin it. And even for other tourists, you're going to ruin it for other tourists. So just be aware of the value of whatever money that you bring down here. You know, not just the American dollar, whatever money, man. Just be aware of the situation and how it affects everything. You know. Hey, something else I want to add to the story. When you come down here, nothing is free. I don't care how many times they tell you, oh no, this is a gift, this is a gift. Everything costs. So what I like to do, and especially because I'm always here recording, or I always got my camera with them. You know, let's say I go somewhere and they're selling something and they're like, hey man, you know, I want to bless you with this gift. I said, no. I say, wait, you know, hold on. You know, I give them maybe 10,000 pesos and be like, hey, I appreciate you doing the video, you know, helping me out, giving me my information and this and that. Anything else beyond that, that's on you. I've already paid you. So I get that out the way. I get that understanding. Hey, nothing is free. I paid you. So whatever else you do, that's on you. But yeah, nobody, like I don't know how to put it. Everybody's friendly. They'll help you out. But when it comes to services and like selling you things, nobody's going to give you anything free. You know, so if you're like in the tourist zone and then you're buying, you know, just whatever little trinkets or whatever, and they were like, hey, you know, okay, come to my store, blah, blah, blah. No, this is here, let me give you this gift. You're going to end up paying for that gift. And then there's going to be an attitude exchange and everybody, you know, it's a big mess. So always know that, you know, everybody expects to be paid. Even, you know, if they're providing you with some type of service or selling you something, if they tell you it's a gift, that gift comes with the price. I was listening to a video of Master P, and Master P said, I don't need no more free headaches. Hey man, stay away from getting into arguments with people around here. Another thing, when it comes to taking taxis or buying food, just wherever you are, always ask up front, how much does that cost? ¿Cuánto vale? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Qué es el precio? You know, always ask them how much it costs, because once they give it to you and put it in your hands, well, now the price might be whatever, but you've already accepted it. You know what I mean? And you know, like in a lot of places, your word is your bond. So if you say I want that and they're like here and they give it to you, well, you've already done a contract. You've already done business. So before you accept anything on that level too, always you know, ask them, hey, how much is that? How much is this? Blah blah blah. How much is the taxi ride to, you know, from Boca Grande? How much is the ride from Boca Grande to Getsemani or wherever you're going? Always get the price established before the service is rendered. You know what I mean? Because if not, I guarantee you, you will find yourself in a situation where you either have to, you know what I mean, argue with somebody, or it's just not gonna end good. So that's one thing I have learned about being here in South America, man. Always get the price understood before you start accepting services, because I done got into some situations where, you know, it's like, hey, no, well, this is the price, and then I'm thinking in my head, well, damn, why didn't I ask beforehand? Now I got, you know, and you can always, you know, and be like, shh, man, I'm not paying that, or, you know, whatever. But being here long term, you don't want to put a stain on your name, man. So if your word is your bond a lot of times down here. So, you know, if you enter a contract with somebody, you kind of got to stick by your word. If you say I want that, you know, that's what you want. So that's another little piece of advice here, man. I always get the price understood and understand that nothing is free. Everybody expects something. So just another little piece of advice that I think could help a lot of people.